Agba John Doe podcast 50-50 Palava episode.
Today, we are honored to have the Supreme High Chief, His Royal Highness Agba John Doe, Agba of the Agbafian community. Welcome to 50-50 Palava episode.
Thank you. I feel happy to be live today to address this issue once and for all.
So, Agba, what is your comment about these 50-50 issues that have been trending because of you?
Please, do not mind those jobless small boys and lazy men. But as a man, if you have a 50-50 mindset, this is what you are saying to yourself. I want to marry a woman who is making money so that when she cheats on me, I'll forgive her. Even when she disrespects me, I'll apologize. I am not the only head. She too is the head.
Wait, are you saying single ladies like me should avoid 50-50 men?
As a young single lady, and especially African ladies living in Africa, if you are dating a man who believes in either 50-50 or 70-30, you need to watch it. Every African man should have it at the back of his mind that he's going to be a full provider.
What of ambitious ladies like me? How do we ensure we marry right and avoid 50-50 men?
If you know that you're an ambitious lady, look for a man who is more ambitious and align your goals. Men find it difficult to accept the reality of you being more financially and educationally exposed than they are. The laid-back ones will attempt to either stifle your growth or start to resent you for being better, which leads to heightened insecurity and uncontrolled jealousy. The first sign is being a 50-50 man.
Seriously?
Yes, a man who is unashamed of wanting to know what you'd be doing with your money is a man who cannot stand what you'd be doing with your money should he lose his shield. He would relax and start feeling entitled to your money and would want to take control of it. When you disagree with him, he starts to feel threatened, incomplete, and uses his ego as a weapon against you.
So how would you advise we, young single men, getting ready for marriage?
Great question. For you single young men, start preparing yourselves for the task ahead of you. Tell yourselves that you can do it through Christ that strengthens you. If you marry a woman and then also making money, be happy with your choice, but only rely on her money and not depend on it.
What is really the difference between a man depending on and relying on his wife's money?
If you rely on your wife, you would see her financial support as a debt. If you depend on your wife, you would see it as an entitlement. The former fosters peace. The latter creates friction.
I understand, Agba. The wife's money helps her not to depend on her husband, especially for basics.
There is nothing wrong if a wife is depending on her husband. In fact, a wife must always show him that she's depending on him, even if she has her own money. Wives depend on their husbands, while husbands rely on their wives. That is the standard.
Now, what would the woman now be doing with her money?
Your wife is not making money for you. She's making it for herself and your children. There are many things that she would be doing with her money that may not be visible to you, but she's helping you. Where you'd miss it is when you start to act entitled to her money and start demanding that she also plays your role because she's your wife. If your wife tells you to start sharing the cooking, cleaning, nursing, nurturing, etc. with her, would you be happy doing it? Roles can be flexed, but they're not interchangeable. And this is the natural order of marriage instituted by God himself. God is nature.
Agba, some fathers depended on their wives' money and the couple stayed together.
A woman's money is not sweet to taste, and they don't give free money to men. If she shelters you, one day she will remind you that you are a visitor. If she feeds you, she will remind you that you are eating free meals. Your father was not happy living like that. He either did not have a choice or he became too relaxed and used to the subtle insults and humiliation. The fact is that your father would never advise you to be in his shoes. What do you think are the sexual implications of a man and woman doing 50-50 in marriage? If your wife is the major provider, you will mostly always have sex with her when she feels like. She will always weaponize sex. But if you're the major provider, she will always be willing to have sex with you even when she doesn't feel like. A woman's vagina hardly goes wet for a man that she feeds for a long time.
Someone said that as a married man, imagine your wife seeing you on social media defending 50-50 men.
That is very embarrassing. I agree with him. We now have a generation of sissies parading as men. Never in my life could I have imagined seeing such self-mockery of the men on social media. Many of their wives would cheat on them without feeling any atom of remorse. And they will say, after all, cheating is a privilege for men who are providers. Abi, Agba, a man can still provide and does everything a man should do, and his wife still cheats. It's better for a man to be providing and his wife cheats on him than for the wife to be the provider and she's cheating on him. Women can use any excuse for cheating. But as a man, let that excuse not be because you're failing to provide or perform your duties.
What would be your closing remark to the millions of men and women listening right now?
I have a simple question to ask 50-50 men. If your wife says she doesn't want to work anymore and wants to be a stay-at-home wife and mother, will you divorce her because of it? Or would you go and complain to either your family or hers that your wife doesn't want to work? All these things that I have been saying may not make sense to many of you young men and women.
But my advice to you is that you should never think of yourselves as exceptions, because that exception may not be you. End.